hear me. I trust you are doing well. I checked into the last conversation you guys had about how to on solidity. Everyone can hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. And so today we are going to take a very deep dive into Bunzz on the Bunzz platform. So I'm not here alone. I'm here with Marcel, as part of the DevRel team at Bunzz. So we'll briefly take a look at the Bunzz platform in and out, and then do a very quick demo on how to deploy smart contracts with Bunzz in minutes, and how to interact with the deploy smart contracts on your front end using Editor.js or any other library that you want to use. And then we'll go into a quick Q&A where Marcel will heavily be part of that Q&A section. And then we'll take questions and prep everyone for what's to come with the hackathon. And then you can see how Bunzz can simplify your dApp building process and any questions that you may have. All right, so quickly, just a recap of last conversation we had about the architectural structure of a dApp. We're looking at difference between Web2 and Web3 is basically no difference, just the back end has a lot of difference. So the front end stays the same, and there are big differences at the back end, especially when it comes to smart contracts, EVMs, and all the blockchain technology components that has to do with the dApp. And we also looked at the importance of smart contracts, especially the importance of smart contracts being the bedrock of all that building process, because it contains the logic of the application, it contains what happens when any incident or events, happens and it executes and store data executed back to the blockchain. And we also looked at read and write. So you do not sign contracts or transactions, rather you don't sign transactions or pay gas fee when you want to write. So when you want to read from the blockchain. But when you want to write on the blockchain, that's where you need to sign transactions and of course, pay gas fees. And that was what we discussed earlier on. So let's dive deep into the Bunzz platform and look at what Bunzz has in store, okay? And you're allowed, we need the rights to share my screen. I can't share my screen, it's disabled. Let me know when it's done. Okay, yeah, beautiful, I think it's done. Okay, so, okay. So this is the Bunzz landing page. Of course, when you all will be building the hackathons, participating in hackathons, the landing page will definitely change. Or just give you a heads up, nothing basically will change, just the interface and mobile friendliness. But overall, this is the landing page to describe what Bunzz is offering. We can see on the header, deploy smart contracts in the GUI. So there is a whole lot of contribution from developers, blockchain engineers, editors, editing and reviewing the codes of the smart contracts being deployed. We're going to look at the Explorer to see what happens, right? So we have ready-made contract combination. So Bunzz basically is focused on the EVM chain. So Ethereum itself, Polygon, Avalanche, BSC, Arbitron, there's quite others on the EVM chain that Bunzz supports solely. And we look at ready-made smart contracts for NFTs, ICOs, token, DeFi, NFTs, and what other ideas that you may have. Bunzz likely has a smart contract model combination. If there's not, it can import yours and deploy easily and manage your smart contracts with ease on the Bunzz platform. All right, so let's log in. Okay, I'll take this over here. Fantastic. I think I'm already logged in though. Yeah, I am. But basically, it's just your email address and username and then password, then you log in. This is the first thing you see when you log into your Bunzz dashboard. So I already have dApps deployed, hence it looks full. But once you log into yours as a first-time user, you're just going to see the create dApp card here, just that. Others are empty until you deploy a dApp or smart contract from Bunzz. All right, so let's head over to Explorer. So this is the first thing you see, even without signing up. You can also explore without signing up. Even on the landing page, you can explore without signing up. But since you signed up, that's fine. Let's look at Explore. So Explorer gives you the ability to look at the smart contracts available in your Bunzz. Take a look at each of them, look at the code. Let's take example, the payment splinter. I mentioned this earlier on, the payment splinter, which allows blockchain applications to inculcate or to implement payment splinter. In case you want to make payments distributed to different parties. So you have a a wallet is going to share tokens. And so the payment splinter contract handles the sharing technique you have for each of the wallets are going to take on the tokens to ensure that they're transparent. And of course, you can monitor who takes what takes, and all of those things. And when you look at exploring documentation for each of the smart contract models and bonds, there is an overview, how to use, model parameters, functions, events, and code. Do look at the functions. So the functions gives you, so the functions gives you an overview of all the rights functions in the smart contracts, the payment splinter smart contracts. Withdraw ETH, withdraw ERC token, update payee status, update payee shares, transfer ownership. These are all rights, because rights are events that happens when you want to change the status of the blockchain. The reader is trying to read the data already stored on the blockchain. If you click on each of them, it gives you the type and the description, just to give you an overview of what you should expect when trying to interact with the smart contracts deployed. And we have the code that shows you, let's go to the payment splinter. So this code shows you how the code is written. You can get to explore and see. There's a feature to customize this code in IDE, which is not yet available, but will be available very soon. So you can customize this code in IDE to give more usability or to add more as you want to use. But basically, it is enough to just do the payment splinter to share payments with multiple users based on their share point. So if you have to share between OV and in your lab, to say 50-50 or 70-30, then the token is being dispersed, the shares according to the shares that you can update it and do what you want to do using the payment splinter smart contract. Okay, so let's assume that this is what we want to build. Okay, let's explore, let's keep exploring, just find out, right? So we have other reflection token, escrow. So escrow, you know how Freelancer, Fiverr, and all of this freelancing platform have an escrow system where the client pays in the money and the freelancer gets to work on the project first before the client confirms, oh, it's done, then they now distribute the money back, the escrow system, right? Familiar with escrow system. So this is a smart contract that enables you to build certain dApps that have escrow payments or escrow structure in the dApp. And we have vesting wallet, NFT minting models, and all of those, any of the ones that you can auction marketplace of NFTs, NFT single marketplaces. We recently launched the ERC level 55D for NFTs and 721A ARC smart contract for NFTs as well. So this you can find in the DAOs, so all of those. So you can search and explore as you can see fit. Now let's take a look. So repository is, remember when I mentioned earlier that you can import your own smart contract. So if you cannot find any use case, so you can't find a smart contract that fits your own use case on the Bunzz platform, you can bring in your own smart contract and deploy easily, of course, on the Bunzz platform, right? Create a new model templates, and you can edit, just like you have the version control system. So it's a repository to version control, version 1 of your smart contract, version 2 of your smart contracts. We know that when the smart contract is deployed, it cannot be edited. So you have to create a new smart contract to deploy, right? So in case there are modifications of already deployed smart contracts, the smart contracts owner, those who deploy the smart contracts, can edit and update new use cases. And you can see the recent logs of the versions being edited and choose the one that you want to use based on your current use case. All right, so let us start the creation of a dApp. So we want to build right now we want to launch an ERC20 token. And we're going to meet initial tokens and coins and check Etherscan, which BSC network to do that. So we're going to look at the BSC scan and then look at what happens in transactions we're trying to do using Bunzz. Now, the good thing about Bunzz is that you can actually run all your transactions, not all, but it depends on the use case. But ERC20 token, you can heavily run and test your models or the functions using GUIs without actually going back to code. So Bunzz is the platform for different kinds of people, heavily for those who are engineers who want to have a use case ready to build and they want to fast track the development process. And also for people who don't really want to dwell or write in codes, but want to quickly launch a smart contract for a specific use case and progressively use that going forward. So any of these two categories of people are fine. And of course, we have front-end developers who don't want to bother themselves about writing Solidity code or smart contracts. They want to leverage on existing smart contracts to be their own dApps. That's fine also, right? So it's a whole platform, right, for different dApp builders according to whatever use case that we're trying to have. So let us take first the use case of building an ERC20 token that we just launched on any network of choice. I chose BSC. You can also choose anyone that you want to choose, depending on your use case. So the first thing, when you're logged in, this is what you're going to see. It's going to be empty, of course, right? Just the create dApp. And the first, of course, for us to connect our wallets, connect to MetaMask. I'm sure everyone is seeing this. I really hope so. Can anyone see the MetaMask dialog pop up?
We can't see the dialogue. Like, we can see like that you're clicking on connect.
We can see the pop-up box.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, you can see the pop-up too?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I thought I shared. All right, that's fine. All right. So done. Yeah, so connected. It's already on the BSC network. So let's create a dApp. That's the first thing, create a dApp. So I will just name this trust token. First thing, okay, it's already here, but that's fine. To custom chain. So there are more than 8, 9, 10, more than 10 networks, blockchain network that you can choose from. Testnet, mainnet. Of course, the golden network is going to be deprecated soon. And we have the Asta network, BSC, Polygon, Buy network. We have Caduceus, Arbitron, Avalanche, mainnets, and the testnets, Kovan, exactly. So you know which is better for the use case you want to build. Some people will prefer Polygon to BSC, depending on the use case, of course, right? But just for testing, we'll just use the BSC testnets. Yep. And if there is any network that is not...
Please, can I ask a question?
Oh, yes. So speaking independence, right?
Yeah, this independence. Okay,
All
please,
right.
I would like to ask, what does this testnet and mainnet, what does it affect? What does it really mean? I know of Goerli, I know of Sepolia, but I've used it just a few times, but I don't really know what you get. You mentioned use case. What do you mean by that?
Okay, use case. All right. Let me answer the first question, yes. So the first question is mainnet testnet. So tests net already gives it away. You know how you are building an application, let's say a web application, and you have an environment where you test before going to production, right? Yeah, more like that, right? So we are leveraging all the functionalities of a main block. If, for example, we want to launch a Polygon, right? We want to test the Polygon network. We cannot test on the mainnet. That would take real gas fees, and that is not the idea to test our dApp. So we want to test on the testnet. So it gives us the ability and all the blockchain capability of Polygon, but we're using fake ethers or fake tokens, but we're testing all of the application before we go to the mainnet, where people get to use and we'll have to, we'll have to spend real gas fees on the mainnet.
Okay.
Yeah, so use case is basically, let me rephrase. What kind of dApp you want to build? Tell me what kind of preferred blockchain network you would build upon.
Okay.
That's what my use case. Yeah, Chibike.
Okay, yeah. My question is, please, is not just based on this. It's part to. It's about like when building a dApp, we need to write like when creating the front end. I wanted to ask during the hackathon, will it be required to write code from scratch, maybe using React and all those, or is Bunzz providing a kind of template, a front end template that we use, so that to make it easier to just integrate the smart contract and make everything go easily? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So your question has two answers. So the first answer is that there are call them boilerplates. There are templates, as you can call them as well, to showcase how the Bunzz application entirely works. So there are boilerplates across NFT marketplaces, across NFT minting sites, across ERC20. So there are different boilerplates. I will show them. You can use the boilerplates. It just gives you a quick start to building any application you want for your own use case. Like, example would be, there is a boilerplate to showcase how the payment splinter smart contract works. So you just have to put in a specified amount and it shares, and you click, it pays. So someone who wants to build a dApp that will feature payment splinter, we have to use a boilerplate to see what happens and build upon it. So there are templates, but templates are not like fully fledged dApps. There are templates that shows you how each of the smart contract work, and you can use them as a quick start to build your own use case. Now, for Bunzz doesn't give templates for all the smart contracts or all of the use cases. What happens is that you assume that you already know what your front end looks like. You already have the skills to consume a smart contract. What we're trying to do is to split the time it takes for you to build a smart contract and build a front end. So if you already have a blockchain here in your team, you can build smart contract, that's fine. But if you're just a front end person, what you do is build your own front end as you seem fit, and leverage the API and the smart contract address that you will definitely showcase that and put that in your front end and interact with it. So you are heavily responsible for building your front end, but that boilerplate that we have that gives you a head start, but you would definitely need to customize for your own use case.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. So I guess there are no more questions. All right, that's fine. Okay, so we are trying to deploy ERC20 token to build a simple site that's creates our token and mints a few tokens that we can use to distribute initial tokens. Yeah? So we have chosen the BSC testnet. So I was trying to explain something. Yeah. So if you can't find your preferred blockchain network, I know Silo is not here. The other ones are not here too. But if you can't find it, you can, as a customized chain, you can put in the chain ID and you can customize and move from there. But of course, most of the time, this is like the famous or the common test blockchain networks available. If you can't find your own preferred network, you can put in your chain ID if you know them, and you can proceed. Okay, so let's get started. So clicking next gives you all of the smart contract modules. They are separated into Bunzz modules. So Bunzz modules are modules that are, okay, is that a, yeah, independence.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I noticed you used 97. Is the chain ID for Bunzz 97 or what?
The chain ID for the testnet chain ID for BSC is 97.
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
So if
sorry.
you,
I didn't know you used BSC testnet. I was seeing customness something there initially.
okay, yeah. So I'm trying to explain, if you can't find your preferred blockchain network or any of this, you can choose, bring in your own custom chain, right?
Okay.
So if I select Polygon testnets, it's 8001, right? So is it 8001? It should be 8,000, no? 80,001, yes. So yeah, that's it. And BSC is 97, yeah.
Okay, I get that. Thanks.
All right. So clicking next gives you, say I was trying to explain the 3 categories here, all, and their prepared templates and their modules, Bunzz modules. So Bunzz modules are modules or smart contracts developed solely by the Bunzz team. So the Bunzz tenant team builds, audited, and reviewed and pushed the contracts. But all the contracts, including the includes the Bunzz modules and other modules built by developers that have been audited and reviewed and are safe to use. So that's the difference. But all of the smart contracts on board right now are audited and safe to use. You can, of course, verify and confirm before you use, but they've all been, not all, most of them, the new contracts have been audited. The ones on the Bunzz models are reviewed and it's okay and safe to use. Now, we want to look at, so let's search for ERC20. Okay, as a third, not votes. Kind of hold on. Nope. Simple token. Okay, yeah, it's already here. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, so this is the token, ERC20 token. There's functions, and you can look at all of those things if you're interested in them to verify. This is version 1. So like I mentioned earlier, all of the smart contract modules can be edited. And right now, this is the version 1.0.1, which means that's not been edited. So any other change in the module will have version 1.1, any other version given by the creator, and you can test and see, and then before you deploy. So exploring the code or the smart contracts can expose us to what it actually has, a different mint function, post function, and post function. And we can verify that and customize, not yet, but later. Now let's deploy, and then we can now explore other features as we have. What happens? Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, use a template. Okay, so we actually moved away from that place, hence the confusion, just to explain better about the token itself. So use a template. We're still on the 1, 2, 3, 4 step of deploying and launching the smart contract. So I've given this to be trust token, and I can make it to be TRT. Yeah, trust token, that's fine. And deploy. Okay, confirm. What happened? Deployment has failed. Try. Let's wait a while. While waiting for this to deploy, the why it's taking so long, I want to also emphasize that the Bunzz platform entirely will be a lot easier to use if you're already familiar with how to interact with smart contracts. That will mean that you already know how to use the ABI, use the smart contract address, and of course, understand how ATAS work, or any other Web3 library that can use interact with smart contracts. That will really be helpful to really use and maximize the Bunzz platform. I know that the last class you guys had, or the classes have all been around to be solid C and deploy. And before the hackathon, no doubt, I am confident that you guys will also look into interacting smart contracts. Once you've done that, it will be very easier to understand how to leverage the Bunzz platform very easily. So to summarize, you just need to understand how to interact with smart contracts to heavily benefit from the Bunzz model. If you're a smart contract engineer already, you can, of course, deploy and manage a smart contract easily on the Bunzz platform. But overall, the end goal is to build dApps. Of course, you build dApps but interact with it, not just with smart contracts alone. So it'll be easier for everybody to understand how to interact with smart contracts, and it's very easy to leverage the Bunzz platform well. Okay, this is taking usually too long. Okay, you haven't deployed this yet. We'll do this again. Okay, sorry, let me take down that arrow. Okay. If it persists again, we'll try another smart contract. Let me just take down the arrow. Okay, yes, I'm going to take a screenshot instead. Yeah, better. All right. So I wonder why that is the case. Let's take a look at under contracts and see. Okay, sorry, switch it down. Let's look at the payment splinter. Where are we here? It's a BFC. Yes, not minutes. Test net. Okay, what's next? Deploy.
If it doesn't work, maybe you could try a different chain as well.
Oh, all right. Let's try. Still did not work. Okay, let's try something else. Okay, let's try. Yeah, that's correct suggestion. So let me still go back to Stockholm. Let's try
This is Polygon Mumbai. Yeah.
Okay. Try Stockholm TRT. CRT. Oh, I have to change the chain, sorry. So I have that here. Yes, I do. Okay. Still the same. Okay. Mostly looks like an internal error. Golden Texans in Mumbai. Yeah, Marcel. All right. So the okay, let's try go in and see if that solves our problem. If not, then it is very, very unusual internal error. So let me see this. Yeah. TRT, the floor. Come on. Okay, I think it works. Okay, I wonder. So just sorry, hold on. Let me take note of those. That's Polygon, and that was BSC. All right. Okay, it's done now. That's nice and unusual. Fine. So once deployed, we have access to two things, especially two things. The ABI is smart contract address. These two are very important interacting with it on the front end. But then there is another button here called Manage Contracts. Clicking on it takes us to the contract interaction via GUI. So it shows us all of the functions, what they do, and ability for us to click on it and interact and test and execute the functions on GUI. So we have transfer the particular amount of tokens from the token owner to certain address if the caller has permission transfer. So each of the functions are being explained, and you can test it out using the GUI, which is fine and very convenient. So we have the read function, token supply, and we have the pos, we have the hash rule, the gets, balance, open, allows, and all of those things. And then we have verification to verify the smart contracts on any block explorer of your choice. Of course, depending on what chain that was deployed with, and that can help you verify the smart contracts, and that is it. Okay, so that is what we just done. is a simple way, not a simple, is a way to explore and deploy smart contracts using Bunzz on any chain, of course, that you desire. Even if it's not part of the option, you can put a custom chain and have access to the API, the smart contract address, and you command the smart contract. We're looking at the functions, exploring the functions GUI without going to IDE, and looking at the verification to verify if you want to verify the smart contract, any blockchain explorer of your choice. Now, for interacting with the smart contract, that's the second step. Deploy and then interact to make it, of course, the dApp to be complete. And there's documentation, which is very helpful to explore and help you to really understand how each of this works. So you can interact using any library of your choice, Web3.js, Data.js. We are gonna make it kind of a library, Web3.py library, and this the demonstration each of the libraries work. As you can see, the API and the contract address are important to leverage up. So like I mentioned earlier, it's very helpful if you understand how to interact with smart contract. Once you've done that, fantastic. If you're coming from a Web2 foundation, front-end Web2 foundation to blockchain front-end, is easier to navigate because of course our JavaScript, Ether.js and Web3.js are JavaScript libraries. You can easily take that up and do what you want to do. If you're coming from a Python background, that's fine. Whichever background is helpful to understand how to interact with smart contracts, leveraging the API and the contract address. Now, another thing to look at this is boilerplate. So you can either find the boilerplate on the documentation, or you can find the boilerplates on the dashboard. So any of them can work. So we have the token. There are many to update this with the other existing boilerplates for the front end. We are doing the token ARC20 demo. So we can click on it and take us to GitHub. We are going to look at what is happening right now. Okay, so the instructions are here as well. We can mint our ARC20 token for the owner and then check it on any blockchain explorer to check if actually it's been there and all of those things. So first of all, let's even check what we've just done right here. So we can copy the smart contract address for our token. And what we did is, yeah, let's go link. So that would be Etherscan. So let's go to goling.etherscan. All right, so let's paste in the smart contract address we just deployed. And it's 4 minutes ago, which is correct. And we can explore further. So just hold on. It's blocking my view. Okay. Nothing is here, event. So I'm sure we all know how to leverage on Etherscan to verify a whole lot of things. So let's take a look at this. The success, very correct, and that's fine. Okay. From this, and okay, yeah, that's very much it. Okay, now let's now look into how to interact with what you've just deployed. And let's clone this GitHub code. So of course, I'm assuming that we all know how to clone, right? So it will either be with the HTTP address or with the download and open. I'm sure we all know how to do that, right? So I would just do this quickly. Can you guys see the terminal I just opened?
No, we can't. We can't.
Oh, okay, so
Trust, please, I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the boilerplate now, is it with your front-end framework or what? I don't really get. Is it something like Vue, React, and all? So which framework did you?
Good question. So let me share all. Let me share all. Just hold on.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So the first set of boilerplates you're going to see has options. Hold on, let me get that very. No, not this. Hold on. No. Oh, this is minting. Oh, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. Okay, it's correct. It's very correct. Your question was library, not framework, yes?
Yeah, you're correct.
Oh, library. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought it was the framework, because initially the boilerplate came with 3 different framework. When we used the Bunzz SDK, which was Vue, Vanilla.js, and React. That's why I was trying to look for it here, but that's changed. So library, AWS is a primary library used on all of the boilerplates. There are a few that combine Ethers and Web3.js, but largely primary is AWS that's being used. But this particular one is AWS.
I'm so sorry. I think I'm mistaken it. I actually meant to ask which framework. I mean, Vue, React, Angular,
React.
which one you get?
React.
Okay, so what happens? I write React actually, but what happens to those that doesn't write React?
Well, I mean, most all of those what's the word now, right? I know the boilerplates is a lot helpful. Big starts, yes, like I said earlier, it would be difficult for those who are not React people, but having a good JavaScript understanding can give many people a comprehension on how they can work about in their own frameworks. But that would, require some high level skill to know how to place your React existing code to your Vue, right? But for those who are beginners, it may be difficult, yes. But we just hope that we'll definitely find ways to adjust that. But right now, just React.js.
Okay, thank you very much. But then ideally, it's not that it's a must to use the boilerplate, right? You can always create a, okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, the boilerplate gives you an idea of how to interact and just gives you a stepping stone, more like that. Yeah, then you can take off from there or customize as you want. Is that clear?
Yeah, I get you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, I've raised my hand for a while, but since you're switched, but no worries. I just wanted to add to what you said just now. So for now, things are mostly built around React right now. And also, if you see SDK, if you have understanding of JavaScript, which means that even if you are learning or building with Vue.js or AngularJS, you should have like at least some certain level of experience with JavaScript, and which would in turn help you to use those SDKs directly with JavaScript. But with React.js, you might need to understand how to use the library, which also means that your JavaScript skills is very, very, very important. But I best believe that moving forward, things are evolving, especially in the Web3 space, to get more people invest more time on other frameworks. But one thing about this whole movement is that anywhere you find like most people or like a very big community doing something, you're likely going to, follow the trend, try to understand what it is. Then before you start seeing people now spending more time to do the same thing with other libraries, right? Like how the birth of Vue.js started and other frameworks, most people already understood what is React and where the loopholes or things that they can improve on before they now started creating those libraries. So I think the same thing would apply in this case, where you need to digest how to use the React. Then at some point, things will start changing into other frameworks to understand how to integrate them properly and also how to use those libraries. Yeah, that's what I just wanted to add.
Thank you very much, Idris. All right, so we're about to clone the repo to our local directory, which is the ID who's drawing on the screen. All right, so I'm assuming you all know how to do this, right? So like it's basic. So I won't do much on this. So just clone, or git clone rather. Sorry.
why is it that two people don't like going back? It clear everything.
Yes. All right, yeah, so that's gone. Let me confirm that your receipt is here. Okay, so let's go to export. I'll close this quickly. Window. Oh, sorry. Yep. So open folder. And have to go to code. And this is you here. All right. No, this is you. 20. Yeah. All right, so let me expand this. Fantastic. So there's a deprecated code still part of the repo, which is, so we offered initially the Bunzz SDK, which helped people who were familiar to building Web2 application easily to use the same process, but to build Web3 applications. So we had SDKs for JavaScript, for React, and for Vue. So for those who still want to try that out, that's fine, but that's long gone. There's no support given to Bunzz SDK at this point. Rather, we are giving support to smart contracts that can be used with any other libraries like ETAs or JS and the rest of them. Okay, so we have the public folder, which gives you the index, the logo, and all of those, but that's not our concern right now. So there are two things like mentioned. Let me close this and go back here. The API and the current address. For the boilerplate are the two things you need to change before you can begin to experiment and test and do what you want to do. And if you're building your own custom front end from scratch, at the point you still need to use those two things. So for the boilerplates, API and the contracts and the contract address is important. So where do you place that? So let's go back to our code. Of course, API.json is where each of those things will be placed. So this is not our own. If we have to change this to yours, so I'll clean this off and copy and go back and paste. It's looking ugly, just straight line, so it's difficult to read. So you control all, that would be shift up and F. Yeah, correct. So it's more readable right now. So this shows all the functions and a whole lot structure around that. So we save, that's one. Now the second is for us to just a moment, guys. Let me switch my network. Sorry. All right, thank you for waiting. All right, so we'll copy this. Even before we copy that, the first thing we should have done earlier is to install npm, right? So all the packages used here should be installed. And let's quickly do that. And install. To take a while, just for why it is doing this magic is doing, let us copy and replace. So those from the React to definitely begin to explore all of this, where the provider is being called, because the form here, there, you can begin to look at all of those things. This is where it handles most of the the clicking, the buttons, and all that is handled here, right?
Please, I have a question. sorry to interrupt you. Just before, when you got the ABI, it was on a line, like it was just linear. Like, what command did you use to edit it to make it arranged?
Okay, that was Shift Option F for Mac. I'm not sure how that is done on Windows, but for Mac it's Shift Options F.
Okay.
But you can Google that. Yeah, that will give you the windows here. All right, so yeah, so it's done. And we need to, okay, so this is blocking my view, sorry. Okay, thank you, Marcel. So Marcel dropped on the chat. On Windows is Control+V to paste. Okay, I think just formatted. I think it's talking about formatting. Yeah, I think yes, formatting. Yeah, I formatted it. Yes, independent. That was what I did. All right, so this is where you have to change your own contract. The smart contract you deployed needs to be changed here. Of course, these are the two variables. So we have ABI and we have the contract address. We've done this already, which takes it from this file. And we need to also change this. So there is no e.env file. We need to create that, right? So we do that by the command touch env or .e. Actually, no, it's not dot. Okay. So we have the empty file. Sorry, let me show I have. No, sorry, not here. What just happened? Yeah. Let me sure I have the correct name for this. So equals, we'll copy the current address from here and head back and paste it. Sorry. Okay. Now it's done. Let's run and test this. Run. Okay. Should be 3,000. Yeah. Okay, so that is what we have right now. So we need to connect to the wallet. Unsupported chain. Supported chain IDs are 0. Or is that? Okay, just hold on. Let's go in. Okay, and confirm what chain this was deployed on. Let's make sure it's not from me. Hold on. Yes, not from me. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a need for, okay, just hold on, I just missed something very important. Let's go back to env. We need to input the chain ID. In our case, what's the chain ID for golden? Let me confirm that. Okay. Does anyone know offhand the chain ID for golden? While I try to get that, I think it's 5. Yeah, I think it's 5. Okay, so let's go back. Oh, sorry.
Yes, 5.
Yeah, it's 5. Okay. ID 5. And, okay, hold on. I know where it's coming from. I just need to fix where this is being called. Wait. Let me confirm. Or React app chain ID. Okay, I think that was from me. Okay. Oh, sorry. Start. So this has to be React app chain ID. Working. Okay, just a moment. Let me debug this and explain what just happened. Just one thing about demos. They work off stage and fumble on stage. All right. App chain ID at 7. Okay. Contract address. Okay. Now I know this is correct, but if it doesn't work, then I'll have to find another way to demonstrate this. So let's go again. Yan, I'm sorry. Yan and start.
Just wanted to ask if the 5 won't be changed to 97.
If there's one?
The 5 there, won't it be changed to 97? Since it's no longer
No.
just the change.
97 would be for Polygon, and we deployed the contracts on Golang network, not Polygon. So the one I showed earlier was deployed with Polygon, hence 95. So which IDs are 0? Now that's very confusing. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens here instead. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Maybe I don't remember if that boilerplate was set for Polygon. Maybe by going to the package JSON, it needs to be to add the new network to Garly 5.
Okay. Was Polygon, was it? Without? Let me confirm. Okay.
Hello, Trust.
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you try providing the chain ID directly first without fetching it from the environment file?
Come again. I didn't get that.
Then you should try writing the chain ID without like making that fetch attachment, like what you've been doing, like with chain ID, just the chain ID. But that's what you did initially, if I can.
Yeah. That's what I did. It's actually correct though. So I think Marcel's point is actually maybe the solution to that. Just hold on. Let me confirm. Where is that? Okay, the boilerplate is not tied to polygon. It's not tied to polygon. Okay, so this must be, okay, just one more. Let me try this again. Let me run the previous demo I did before the call and then see if that will run. Then we'll know it is something that happened just recently. So let me go back to this guy, and that was polygon. So let's run this. It was the same process as I did before the call. It was actually on polygon. It was 97. All right, so that will be run stats. Okay, we no, sorry. Let me change this. Let's go to ID. Okay, clearly it is not from our fault. This has to be some 97. Oh, okay. We're done. Oh, and I'm not sure it was saved. Where's it saved? Okay, so clearly this demo yeah. Okay, what happened? Oh, what happened? Yes. Sorry, guys. We had him. Okay. Yeah. I know what happened. All right, let's go back to that previous code. Okay, let's go back to our code. Okay. So this is not 5. Who mentioned 97 as suggestion? You're actually correct. It has to be 97. Yeah. 97. But why is 97? 97? Actually, for BSc, I don't know. Wait, look at this is a BSc. Okay. Let me confirm if let me not adjust too much. Let me complete this. Hold on. All right, let us return back to the previous code I did before the demo, which is actually working, right? So it was the same process. I think it works better on BSc. I don't know what happened to Golang right now, but this is actually the BSc network 97, which is correct. So I just have to change this, where are you? This back to, okay, it's correct to BSc network. So what just happened now is that we deployed on the Golang testnet, and we're trying to run the code. We just deployed the smart contract to it, and it's giving issues. And apparently, I don't know if it's linked to the deprecation of the Golang network soon. I don't know why, but I had to go back to the previous code I did while testing them before this section on BSc, which worked. So I guess it's safe to say BSc is better. I don't know, but yeah, let's stick with BSc. So what happened on the back end was basically us changing the contracts. Why is this blocking my view? Hold on. Let me minimize this. I don't know. Okay, so it basically was changing the contract address and the chain ID of the boilerplates that you'll be either cloning to do your own hackathons or do your own use cases, because we are not the one who deployed the smart contract used for the boilerplate. We have our own smart contract. And doing that, we created a .env file to change those two variables that we used in the forms.gx file. And then we copy the API from the Bunzz dashboard, and we put it back here to replace what has here. So that's basically what we did. And then we run it and we arrived to this place. So let's go back from here and start from here. So sorry about the ups and downs of those things. All right, so we're getting, yeah, fantastic. Okay, so I was prompted to change the chain, yeah. So changing it to what? Is it not goalie now? No. It's not meant to be goalie. This is meant to be BS. Yeah, changed. All right. Have I changed it? Change chain. Let me kind of find the trouble set. Oh, sorry, no vex. Okay, this is actually from here. I have to go back to, okay. Where did I deploy this? Yeah, that's this guy. Yeah, change chain. Okay, we are fine. We are fine. All right, so let's go back to this. So click. I have already done this, hence there's so many tokens here. But let's assume that nothing is here, is 0, right? So we want to mint initial tokens on our new ERC. Obviously plenty tabs now, no ERC 20 token. So we can choose to mint. So remember I'm looking for the correct maths. Is it measure, not the measure? What's the English now? The units, the measurement units of etas. Is that the correct word? Where you have yeah, that should be. Yeah, it should be that's the measurement units of etas. Yeah, am I correct? Anyone can remember that? I know it's discussed in previous classes.
No, you have to clarify. Like, if you could, like, repeat what you're trying to see, like, so we can get it.
Okay. The measurement unit. I'm not sure if that's the right word. It's skipping my head. Not the measurement unit. So hold on. Let me make sure I get this right.
Are you talking about GUI, like 10 raised to power 18 or something?
Yeah, correct. Smallest units, yeah, the measurements of, yeah, so we have the we have the, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Like gigabyte.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's what it's called. So okay, so just have that in mind while doing this. So I am trying to mint, this is 100,000, right? So I've clicked on mint because I am signing, changing the states. I need to pay gas fees. Transaction pending. It should be done.
Sir, I didn't get that part where he was talking about is it the smallest unit of measurement of ETA or something? I don't get what he said.
Yeah, that's the smallest unit of measurement for ATAs. Yeah, so we have the smaller, which is equivalent to 10 some thousand minus 18 decimals. So yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay, 10 to the power of 9.
Yeah. Okay, so that you guys see this message successfully done. So let's confirm. Let's go back here, copy the contracts. This is BSC. So let's go to BSC testnet scan. Sorry. All right. Let me search. Okay. Oh, this is correct. 1.7. Okay, 1 minute ago we minted. What did we mint? Okay. So paid 0.1 BNB to mint this, and this was demo test token. So the token, which is this, is no, is it this? Wait, sorry. Trust token. That's not trust token. Demo. Okay, yeah, has trust token. So it is the DTTT. I called it demo test token. That was what I tested before coming to on stage to talk about this right now. So just 1 minute ago, minted, and this is the current balance, total supply of DTTT, which is it's more than a trillion, maybe. It's million, billion, trillion. Yes, so that's 1 trillion and a few thousand token. 3 holders are holding this, and transfers so far, 11 transfers. So this is if you can transfer and convert and do what you want to do with any use case you want to use for the demo token, minus the whole confusions and the whole bugs, is actually as easy, than this to do what you want to do. So what we'll have done initially would be to build this use case in our own either Solidity or Remix, and then push it back to our own local environment, hard hat and the rest of them. But while using the Bunzz platform, makes it very easy to skip all of those heavy loads and then quickly you want to use and deploy and see what happens. So if you look at holders, so 3 holders to this, and this guy has 10,000, this guy has this guy has this, percentage just right around that, and this has been verified. So yeah, that fixes that as well. So this is a quick demo. It's not quick, but it's a demo on how that and how the whole Bunzz platform works. Then looking at back and manage the contract, you can do what we just did in IDE here as well. So you can mint new tokens for the user. So we could mint, so if you look at balance of, so let's go to balance of, yeah. So look at the total balance we have here. And let me copy, I'm sure the address is still here. Yes. Balance of 0 response. Should I copy that correctly? Where is that? Sorry. Are there any questions so far on this? So in summary, what happened is that we logged into the Bunzz platform. We explored different smart contract models available for different use cases. And if you are familiar, let's go back to Explorer. If you're familiar with, so the first thing is clarity of what you want to build. And then the second thing is looking for what smart contracts supports what you want to build. Are you building a DAO ecosystem, or you need an ERC20 token for that specific DAO? This could be your guy. Are looking to have a payment, a payroll system on a blockchain? This could be your guy. Are you looking to have a freelancing service platform where people pay on the blockchain? Sorry, on the blockchain, this is your guy, right? So escrow by agent is your guy. If you're looking for NFT minting models, this is your guy. If you're looking to incorporate more, what's it called, the multi-batch minting for NFTs, not just single minting that has more gas fees, then the ERC 1155D is your guy. So there are different use cases depending on what you want to use. Auction NFT, that's your guy. But if you can't find any contracts on your use case, you can of course upload your own contract, deploy and manage easily for the Bunzz platform. Their boilerplate support your use cases and documentation to make it all easy for you to do what you want to do. So that's basically all it has to be, or what you have to know to launch dApps. Like I said earlier, once you understand how JavaScript works, you understand how to consume, interact API and smart contracts to interact with smart contracts, you're good to go. And then everything just makes sense as you proceed forward. All right. Are there any questions so far? Any questions you have? So I just want to quickly show us quite a few a few examples of dApps that have been built using the Bunzz SDK, not SDK, the Bunzz platform. So this is called Patentic. Yeah, Chibiki has a hand raised. Just hold on, I would come right to you. So this is a Patentic used to register patents on the blockchain. So when you register, you receive PAT tokens as a reward for registering your patents or idea on the blockchain. And all of this was done using the Bunzz SDK. I think not SDK, sorry, SDK is in my head. The Bunzz platform, right? So they just give one last example. Not DAO. I don't want to use DAO. This was done also, but login is a long process. I would just have to go with Startup Sphere. Yeah, Startup Sphere. Startup Sphere is trying to, what it did was trying to bring in the whole GoFundMe idea into the Web3 space. And so you have people trying to, you see projects or proposals, and then you look at each of the proposals and you can fund. And I think there's no response here. Yeah, and push proposals and do stuff like that. Yeah, go ahead, GBK.
Okay, yeah. My question is that actually I'm like new. I'm learning writing smart contracts, and what I noticed is that since this is a template, is a smart contract, it's already written, and so what I noticed was when I was writing a smart contract, usually we have to create a provider. We have to connect, as we used to connect to the blockchain node, like through using that ethers as provider dot JSON RPC provider to get the URL, like to connect to the node. So I wanted to ask, in the template, is the code already written? Because I can see that the ABI is already there. The ABI and the that's maybe after compiling the code, the ABI, and I don't know if you get what I'm saying, where I'm going. Like everything is already gotten, so there will be no need again to write to connect to any provider like Infura or any such thing. Like it's already provided. I don't know if you get my question.
Yeah, I do get a question. Marcel, any comment on that?
Yeah, there is no need to connect to an RPC provider because you already it already said to connect via MetaMask that works as the proxy to connect with all the different RPC, all the different networks RPC. So if you use the boilerplates, it's already set to connect via MetaMask or any other wallet provider, but you don't have to connect manually to any RPC.
Okay.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Yeah, I did.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Any other questions, anyone? So questions could come not just about what's done today, overview about bonds, questions, concerns, how to, what if not, how, just overview, right? And then we can wrap up. And yeah, we're done for today. So building up to the hackathon, of course, the Discord channel is always there for any other questions regarding the Bunzz platform itself, right? Any observations or bugs, so we're happy to receive feedback and build upon it. Any questions? Ovi, Alpha.
If I have any question, well, the question I have, like, is not necessarily like relating to like us, like for this program, or like people that eventually move on from here to study hackathon. But my question now is like for Bunzz, like the team, since we already have like an extra team member here. So what do you envision as the future of Bunzz?
All right, so Bunzz is building an ecosystem. So it's called a smart contract hub or a smart contract ecosystem. The ideal is to be the go-to platform for building dApps. And there is quite a whole roadmap to that. And right now we have creators who are building or contributing to smart contracts. We have the builders who are leveraging smart contracts to build dApps. We have the auditors who are auditing the smart contracts to ensure that they are valid. And all around, we're trying to build a complete ecosystem for smart contract development or dApp development. In the future, there would be Bunzz tokens to be offered for contributors whose smart contracts are being used in real dApp. So there's quite a whole lot, but the overall vision is to be the #1 smart contract ecosystem for dApp builders.
Okay. Because the reason I asked is because I know Bunzz is also like sponsoring this program. Like this app that you just opened up recently, like this startup by Versal or whatsoever. I just realized that it was also like a project that came from like a program that Bunzz was also sponsoring as well. So it's just beautiful seeing like the team and everything, just putting in the groundwork and everything. So it will eventually pay off like properly. So yeah, that's just it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Will be any other questions? I'll probably give like 2 more minutes or 1 minute. Then Marcel has any other contributions, that's fine. Then I think Eniola can wrap up.
Thank you so much, Just. Does anybody have any questions? Please ask questions, please. You're smiling, but I don't want to ask questions, and I don't know why. It's fine. I guess the DM is always open, and the Discord channel too is on. Idris, do you have anything for us? And by the way, today is Idris' birthday, so wish Idris happy birthday.
Happy birthday, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Trust and Marcel, for joining today. Thank you all also for staying to the end. So it gets more practical over time, as you might have noticed. But still, we are also really optimistic about what you guys are going to build, and also your participation in the hackathon and throughout the whole training program. So the next workshop would be on Monday, as usual, which happens to be our 5th workshop, if I'm correct. And from that, we have 1 more to go. And we are likely going to have like a couple of announcements next week. So guys, just stay tuned. Try to go hands-on as much as possible, so that when you are participating, you have something to build, you have something to participate, and I'm wishing everybody all the very best. From my end, I think that's it. Yeah, I'll just pass the mic to Eniola so you can wrap it up, and see you guys on Monday.
All right, thank you so much, Idris. Thank you so much, Trust. Since there's no other question, I think we've come to the end of today's session.